Welcome to the Fourth Down Experience, the podcast devoted to special teams. Your host of the Fourth Down Experience, former pro free agent, 9-year professional kicking coach out of the Midwest, Coach Chris Hughesby. Alongside Coach Chris Hughesby is a former 2-time Arena Bowl champ, 9-year pro kicking coach, repping the South, Coach Brian Jackson.
What's up, guys? Brian Jackson here with the Fourth Down Experience podcast, along with Chris Hughesby. We are excited. We have a veteran in the CFL, but has no stranger to the NFL as well. We have Justin Medlock with us, UCLA, former Bruin, kicker punter. This guy has kicked 283 field goals in the CFL. Obviously, that's before this season. He's probably past 300 by now. He has a long of 58. He was originally drafted with the Chiefs back in 2007 in my draft class. So, obviously, kicked my rear end there, Justin. But welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Justin, thanks for being on the Fourth Down Experience podcast. We're excited to have you on.
Justin, thanks for having me. Let's kind of hop right in. Talk about UCLA and your college career and that whole experience.
I started pretty late. Just starting off with my kicking, I started off pretty late. My sophomore year, I started kicking, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to get a scholarship, and I was kicking some footballs, and I was like, all right, let's give it a go. So I started there, and then I played for a high school football team that wasn't very good, and they didn't really care if I just came out and kicked, so it was like, it's fine. And back in the day, it's totally different nowadays with with camps and everything. You got all these camps all around the country that give you exposure. Back in the day, it was like go to the schools. So you'd pick 3 or 4 schools and go there, kick in front of the coaches, and maybe they offer you, maybe they don't. And it was very rare that you got exposed somehow through some other kicking coaches or whatnot. So, I went to 4 schools. I went to University of North Carolina, Oregon, and Cal, and UCLA. And so I got offered by 3 of them, and Cal was the only one I didn't get offered by. And so picked UCLA, ended up going there, and then, UCLA was great. Just good experience, obviously, I was actually a diehard UNC fan, so not picking UNC was actually really hard for me. I still am a diehard UNC fan, but I ended up just California and everything. So love UCLA and was able to have some good success at UCLA.
So when in your college, obviously, UCLA is a very storied program. You're a little late to the game, obviously picking up kicking, and then you blossom. When did you realize that you maybe had a chance to play at the next level? Did you have people in your ear? Did you just have your own aspirations?
You know what? I was always one of those guys that was just self-motivated. I'm still kind of that way, kind of driven by myself. I think that's maybe a positive and a negative, where I'm just kind of not, I've never really put myself out there with a bunch of people, and I never had a dad that would push me in kicking or whatnot. So I was kind of just by myself, and nobody really got in my ear. So to be honest, I never really looked at it with I got a chance to go to the NFL, and I think that was kind of almost a negative and down the road. But I just wanted to have good success at UCLA. I knew kicking at UCLA was a big honor, and you're supposed to be pretty good and whatnot. I thought I did well. I didn't do overly amazing my first few years, but I did okay. And then my senior year, I was able to take off and do pretty well. I think my junior year, I actually, because I had some success my freshman and sophomore year, I thought my junior year was going to be I was going to win the Groza Award. So I think that my mindset was I'm going to win this, and then I ended up coming out kind of slow, and I didn't do as well my junior year. Okay, but nothing great. And then my senior year, I ended up, having pretty good success, and I guess that senior year, maybe I kind of thought I had a chance, but I mean, definitely would have done some things differently preparing for the NFL if I look back at it.
Yeah.
So was your senior year 2006 and you graduated in 07?
Yeah, my senior year was 06. I graduated then, but yeah, my draft class was 07, so it was in April 07. So that's when I got drafted.
Right. So I'm trying to see if you and I competed against each other for the grad.
Yeah, we did. I remember you, and that year. That's probably what you were in there a couple of years, weren't you?
No, I think I'm looking at your stats now. I think in 2006 is when I got top 20, and it looks like in 2005 you made the preseason list.
Yeah,
and then you were one of 20 semifinalists in 2004.
Yeah. I think 2003, and then 2004 I made it in the final, semifinalists, and then 2005 I don't think I made it, and then 2006 I made it. It was actually kind of weird, funny because Art Carmi won the Groves Award night. Like, I love Art. Art's just an amazing dude. And it's so funny because we ran into. I actually got All-American. So actually with the All-American, how it goes, if you're consensus All-American for I think it's 3, I believe, you're considered I don't know how it all works, but if you get 3 All-Americans, you were consensus All-American, I guess. And I ended up getting 5 out of the 8. And so it was kind of weird because when I remember when we played SC, it was a game before SC, that we played SC, and it was in December. It was December 2nd. So they were already going to announce it the 25th. Even though I was a kicker in college, that was the award, So I was I want to get it. So at this moment, I think I was 26 for 30. And I was I'm going to be a finalist. And that's all I really want to be. I was I want to go to Florida. I want to get a trip and everything, right? So it wasn't even I want to win this thing. I was I'm going to be a finalist. I know it. I'm yeah. And so then they come out and the award, and I don't get the finalist award. I'm what the heck? So I was really shocked by it, but it all works out. I know it was John Vaughn who got finalist, and then Garrett Hartley who got finalist with Art. And so it's kind of weird because Art got it, and we always joke around. I'm man, you got my Groves Award, But I don't really care anymore. Looking back at it, it's it is what it is. It is that one thing that I've been dang, I didn't get it, But I think I was more upset when I was younger. Now I just laugh about it. Plus, and what's great about it is Art is an awesome human being, So it's not I just some cocky little kid that oh yeah, I want it, oh yeah, So I don't know. And then I went to the next year. I went to Louisville and trained with Art, and helped him out a little bit, before the draft and everything like that. So he was a great dude.
He was 21 for 25 that year, and he made all 60 of his extra points. I was 17 for 19, and I had missed 1 extra point. I remember extra points were huge back then. For the Grozer, if you're perfect on extra points, you could be 29 for 30, but if you missed 2 pats, you didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They moved the extra point back, and it's game changer.
Yeah. So did they move the extra point back in the CFL too?
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. Actually, some of the things that the NFL is doing now is that CFL is already done. So they changed the extra point, and then right then that's when the NFL moved it. And then we do the instant replay of the pass interference and challenging of it, and then we did that for a year, and then NFL took it. So that's why now it's it's been doing that, and then so we've been on extra points since 2015. I think 2015. Yeah, 2015.
Nice. One big question that I want to ask you that I think would be good for the kickers and punters listening is because you obviously have to kick and punt in the CFL. You've been doing all 3 skill sets for a long time. how for these guys that are doing all three skill sets, or maybe even some guys at college level that are doing punts and field goals, but they may not be doing kickoffs, etc. How do you prepare yourself? Because there's two different types of swings there. How do you prepare yourself physically, for kicking and punting?
Yeah, so just physically aspect, I guess, just doing all three. I mean, I'm one of those guys that kind of wants to build up and make sure, I kick a lot, so I don't really have as hard of a time, but some people, they might be like some more like muscular, like tighter guys, and they might have trouble, kicking a big volume, right? So for me, I try to kick like once in February, twice in March, and three times in like early April, and 4 times going into camp. So, but it might just, I might kick more when I'm doing like 2 days a week. And then, once I get to like 4 days a week, it's just more of just swinging the leg, maybe, 40 balls, 30 to 40 balls. So that to me is, a little bit different compared to, some of the guys in the CFL. I know some of them they are building up, but just some other ones, they might kick 30 balls and that might be it. And, they kind of get hurt and whatnot. So, I think from that part, from a physical standpoint, I think kicking and punting and kickoffs, I mean, obviously that's always a challenge, right? I'm always constantly trying to improve on those little areas, right? So when I first started out in the CFL, I mean, I was awful at the punting. Somehow I was able to keep a job, so.
Nice.
Well, speaking of that, learning how to manage it all, what are some things you do in season and out of season that just keep your body in tip-top shape, either from a kicking standpoint or like just muscular balance and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just all about kick count, right? And then, kickoffs, I mean, I guess it all depends on what your strength is, right? Like, I'm a kicker who can punt, and some people are a punter who can kick. So for me, like, kickoffs, it's just a routine to me. Like, I can take all off-season and come back and kick off, and it would probably be the same, maybe just, just a little different. So I try not to kick off. So that's one thing I take off. And then from a, punting standpoint, I might do a certain thing one day, and then I might work on a different punt another day, and that's it. And then kicking-wise, I have to kind of be careful with it just because that takes a little bit more pressure on the groin. So I kind of don't like, getting 30 field goals on kickoff. On field goals, right? So it might be one of those things that I need to take care of that. And then as far as like working out, and I try to make sure that I'm still working out here and there. I could do a better job of it, obviously, especially getting a little older. But definitely, doing legs right after the game. Doing a nice little flush lift, and then as the week goes on, dialing it back down. From the lower body standpoint. Keeping in shape a little bit, better. But I mean, I'm probably not the best person to ask for that one. I could probably, do a better job of that.
Sure.
What are you doing these days to recover?
I mean, one thing that I actually picked up as I got a little bit older, like, when you gotta go to a spa and you're doing like the hot tubs and the cold tubs and everything, and you feel, you're in a sauna, you're relaxing, you're doing that for like an hour or so. I kind of, picked that up the last, 2 years. I actually kind of like that. I kind of got away from like massages and stuff. I don't know, but I mean, I still roll out a ton. Obviously, in training camp, it's a lot different. I mean, I like a routine in training camp just to stay healthy, right? So I'll, every night I'll get to the facility and, roll out, stretch, then do the cold tubs, hot tubs, and I'll do that every night. But during season, a little bit different. I think just the day before the games, I'll kind of do like a little my mini version of like a spa treatment, right? So do hot tubs, cold tubs, and then with the sauna, and might do the sauna and meditate a little bit and visualize the game and stuff like that.
Nice. So Justin, you've been in the league for a long time between NFL, CFL. Do you have any kind of mentors from each of the leagues or a kicking coach that you go to and you go through for fine tuning or to bounce ideas off in the kicking game?
Yeah. So just to go back to my college days, I think that one thing that I kind of did wrong, and looking back, if I had to look back and just I never really had that like guidance or whatever, because I was never one of those guys that went to a kicking coach, right? I kind of just did it on my own. I think sometimes if I would look back at it, I would have wanted that guidance a little bit more. Like I help a lot of young guys out, right? So, getting them ready, like as far as like their process and their routines and everything that they need to throughout the whole like professional, because you should be on a schedule. You're working out for an NFL team on Tuesday, and you need to be relaxed on Monday and Sunday. So you need to be kicking hard on Wednesday or Thursday, Friday. On a routine that you're going to jump right into an NFL schedule, and you're going to be right on tracks, right? So I think from that standpoint, I don't. But if I need like a little bit of advice, I might bounce some ideas off of some kickers and stuff. But I think at my level now, it's I might maybe a little bit here and there. I might pick a question that from a technique standpoint, maybe here and there. Maybe I might ask a question about hey, when you hit a game winner here, like comfortable, or how were you nervous or something like that, or how do you deal with a game winner? I might ask them questions like that, but I don't have one person, so I think that I don't really have that. But from college standpoint, I think if I would have, let's say, came out of college and said, okay, I have a guy who's a 5-year vet I'm training with in the off season, and he's told me, okay, you got OTAs here, you got training camp here, and then you got this, and then this is what you got to prepare for. This is how you got to take care of your body. This is how you got to do your routines. You got to go through your process. I think I would have been way more successful in the NFL. But so I think that's probably the biggest negative that I would have looked at from the NFL standpoint.
Do you think you still going to be pursuing the NFL? Because with guys now doing punts and kickoffs, the thing is like, in 2011 I made that. Or 12, I went back down to the NFL, and I made it. I made it with Carolina, and I had a great situation. I had a great snapper, great holder, great stadium. It was all there, right? And I went out there, and I was 7 for 7, and came back next week, played against the Redskins, got a field goal blocked right up the middle, or not even. It was like right through a gap, like a bust. And then the next week I missed one. Next week I missed one, and I was cut. And so, to me, was I cut a little early? Yes. But, at the end of the day, it's like I got cut. So, I got some workouts here and there, and it didn't pan out. And, the next year, I was like fully 100% committed, had the routine, everything was down. I was ready for every workout. I didn't get as many. I got a workout with the Texans that I thought went pretty well, that I thought I got the job. I think Randy Bullock might have went like 0 for 3 in Monday Night Football again. I was like, all right, here we go. And I ended up missing. I ended up not getting the job. Nobody got the job. They just, stuck with them. And I ended up, really never getting really any chances throughout the year. So, I sat out that year, the whole 2013, while the CFL was calling, and I wanted to give it my best. And once that happened, there was a kicker here in the CFL that was like, you need to make it a little bit of a home. If you could have a career here in the CFL if you just dedicate yourself to the CFL, stop bouncing around. And so I've kind of done that. And now that I'm like 36 and stuff, it's just a little bit harder, to like, obviously I train with guys there in the NFL, and I know I can do it, but I know how the business works too, right? So I don't know how many scouts are going to be like, oh yeah, like let's sign a 36-year-old that's good, Like there's a million of them that are good down there, right? Yeah. So I don't know, you know how it goes. You have kids and you got to put your life on hold. I feel like if you want to make it to the NFL, you got to be 100% committed. You can't be, 80%, and that was
when I was younger, I was like, 85, 90% committed, and it's not the right way to do it.
Yeah. If you could give advice to the younger guys trying to pursue the league, you obviously had a lot of little stints with different teams, so you'd assume that you probably had a lot of private workouts and things like that. What kind of advice would you give free agent types who maybe end up getting a lot of private workouts, but nothing really happens, and kind of grinding?
Yeah. So I think it would be, I think first and foremost, this is a business, right? So obviously some people are going to get those looks and some people just aren't. So that's a tough thing, right? I think the best advice I could give, and I kind of work with a guy, Greg Joseph, who plays for the Browns. He's right now he's on the street, right? So we're good buddies, and he bounces a lot of things off of me and his frustrations and stuff. But the biggest thing is just staying on the routine, right? So like I said, Tuesdays are workouts, so that's your game day, and you want to be able to jump into a team and be ready. So you're going to practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and, off Saturday, Sunday, it's your game day, right? So you just kind of have to flip it around, right? So Tuesday's your game day, and then you need to be like Thursday, Friday, and then, maybe kick like 2 of those days and keep your workouts and keep your body fresh and staying on the process and not worried about too much of the outcome. So, I know with young guys, a lot of people get frustrated because the phone's not ringing on a Monday, but you just need to stay on your routine. That phone call will come, and be ready for that phone call. Because if you're not ready, you're just not going to beat those guys. Those guys are there's guys that are hungry. And, I've had many workouts. I've had a couple workouts where, there's so many. I've had, because, I've had a ton of them, but I've had, 2 or 3 that I can tell you, like Atlanta, they called me, wanted me to fly overnight, get there at 7, they're like, go to sleep, we'll pick you up at like 2, call me 2 hours later, I'm in the facility, I'm kicking by like 11, so did an overnight. I did one where I flew from San Francisco back to Florida, and then got to Florida, got back into my bed, was about to sleep because I did a red eye. I was about to sleep, get a phone call. Hey, we need you to head back to San Francisco. There's one David Akers, actually. And they need you to head back to San Francisco and work out. So I ended up getting back on a plane a couple hours later, headed back to San Francisco, and then kicked the next day. And I just wasn't ready, it was after the holidays, you do 2 red eyes, it was tough, so, that routine is, because when when that phone call comes on a Monday and it's coming, or you're ready for it, you're ready to kick on Tuesday, it's a lot better. And you just need to be on your own routines, because if you're worried about it and you get discouraged and all that, then you're just focused on things that are out of your control.
Yeah. Oh, that's some fantastic advice. All right, Justin. So here's our capstone question here. You've been around, obviously, CFL, NFL, all that. Tell us your 5 favorite stadium experiences, and if you want to add a little twist, maybe a few that weren't necessarily your favorite stadium experiences.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the worst ones. Obviously, the CFL has some tough ones, right? So it's pretty windy. I played in Hamilton, and when the wind blows, it just blows. I had one game where it was probably about 85 miles per hour wind. I ended up making an extra point from 32 yards and barely getting it over the upright. It was probably an awesome extra point. I ended up hitting the 10-yard punt at the end of the game too. So that was tough. Winnipeg, the old stadium was really brutal. And then as far as NFL stadiums, Chicago is brutal. It's tough. It's really tough. It's side wind. It's like a park field. So, the grass is what makes it hard too. Sinks in there. Washington's pretty tough. As far as best stadiums, I would say the best that I've played in, coolest experiences. Obviously, I've had good success there. So, UCLA was really cool. Notre toughest, but also I had a great game there, and it was it was awesome. And then Carolina is awesome. I never played in a couple of ones I wanted to play in. And then Seattle Seahawks is another one that's probably my top 5.
Nice. What was the experience like kicking at UCLA? Like, how was the crowd there?
Yeah, it was good. Back in the day, it was better than it is nowadays. But yeah, it was when UCLA USC game is you got 90,000 fans and beautiful 90-degree day and big stadium and stuff. So it was always a good atmosphere.
Awesome.
Last question: have you ever won a CFL championship? A Grey Cup?
Oh man, no, I haven't actually. I been to one Grey Cup and lost, and I've been to a bunch of ones to get to the Grey Cup and the finals or East or West finals, and I've lost, but I'm hoping to turn that around.
Nice.
How are you guys looking this year?
Good. Our quarterback got hurt like in August, so that kind of we were rolling, and then our quarterback got hurt, and kind of been bouncing, just little struggles here and there, but we're heading into the playoffs with fresh start, and hopefully we can put together a couple games and get the championship.
Nice. Well, Justin, as we wrap this up here, we have a new segment we call Challenge Us. So we're starting to ask our interviewees now if there's a kicker or someone you think would be great for the podcast for an interview, and then we'll go out and try to reach them. Who do you think would be a great interview?
Probably Ty Long. Go get Ty Long. Ty Long's a great success story who played up here in the CFL, could kick and punt. He was a kicker who got up here and kind of learned how to punt. His first year, he was okay, good stats, but he was okay. And his second year, I don't know what happened. It was like his mid-season hit and as a punter, and he was took off and had a great year. And then he ended up getting a chance to go to the NFL. And he was a guy that, in my opinion, he was probably a better kicker than he was a punter. And but I was like, hey, if you make it as a punter, man, you might be able to keep playing for a long time. And great success story who didn't get some opportunities for a couple of years, and now he's playing for the Chargers. And he's good dude.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, hey, Justin, man, we wish you the best of luck. We hope you go win that Grey Cup, man. Best of luck this playoffs, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see you, Justin.
Right,
good
care.
luck.
All right.
Later, bro.
Wow, that was a cool little interview.
Yeah.
What made it fun is that he's about our age. Obviously, we discovered he was in your draft class, and he was a guy that I had met at a camp a number of years ago, briefly. I don't even know if he remembered me then, or from then, but be like a pure example that, if you just want to keep kicking, there's outlets and leagues and things you can do to keep that career going, so that's really cool that he's been, basically playing for, 13, 14 years now.
Yeah. He's a great guy, talented kicker-punter combo. You guys should follow him. Justin Medlock. He's on Instagram and Twitter. You guys should follow him. He's a great kicker. He's a lefty, talented, and has a lot of knowledge and experience. So thanks, guys, for listening to us this week, and be ready for more podcasts. We're going to keep plugging away here.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Later. Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to let you guys know, Brian and I have some exciting news brought to you by National Kicking Rankings. We were selected to make the selections for 2 big camps coming up. The first one is for middle school specialists. These middle school All-American games are run by the Football Hotbed organization. We're going to have the opportunities to evaluate and select the specialists, kickers, punters, and snappers, for the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade groups. The All-American games run from January 1st to the 4th. So it's a great opportunity for you to compete in a competitive environment. The qualifier camp is coming up. We will be running our National Kicking Rankings camp in Hattiesburg, Mississippi on November 17th. We will have a registration link in the bio. And the second opportunity that we have is we were selected to partner with College Football Today. It's an organization that will run an All-American Bowl game, All-Star game. It's an opportunity to be selected for 2 All-American All-Star games, one for the 2020 class, and the other is a combination game for the 2021 class and 2022 class. We have 2 qualifier camps coming up, November 17th in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and December 1st in Atlanta, Georgia. We will have registration links in the show notes, but these are opportunities to be selected as a kicker, punter, and snapper to represent your team, your school, your family, in these All-American All-Star games. We appreciate all your support on the podcast and National Kicking Rankings, and hopefully you can make it to a camp. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Down Experience. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fourth Down Experience.